I froze in the doorway, refusing to believe my eyes. My bed. My best friend. My girlfriend staring back at me, and not with guilt, but with a smirk. "You did this to yourself," she hissed, her voice like a razorblade. 1 week later, I got the notice, vacate the premises within 7 days. But what she did next? That's when things got really twisted. I trusted her. Like a goddamn fool. 3 years. 3 whole years I thought Laura was my forever. We made plans, dreamed about a lake house, even picked out baby names. And she was just waiting for the right moment to rip my heart out. That day, I left work early. Bought her favorite wine, those stupid strawberry cupcakes. I hate them, but she loved them. Wanted to surprise her. How fucking blind could I be? The door was unlocked. Weird, Laura always locked up. First thought, maybe she forgot? Second thought, or maybe she's expecting someone. Silence. Just muffled laughter from the bedroom. I froze. Then moved toward the sound like I was in a trance. My hand pushed the door open on its own. And there they were. My girl. My best friend Brian. In our bed. "You've got to be kidding me," my voice cracked. Brian jumped up, white as a sheet. "Jake," I didn't let him finish. My hands grabbed his collar on instinct. No yelling, no screaming, just dragged him to the hallway and threw him out. He didn't even fight back. Then I turned to Laura. She was smirking. No guilt, no shame, just cold, ugly amusement. "This is your fault," she said, calm as hell, like she was explaining 2 + 2 to a toddler. "You're just weak." My mouth went dry. My fists clenched so tight my nails drew blood. I could have trashed the whole room. Could have screamed every vile word I knew. Could have hit her. But I just turned around and walked out, slamming the door so hard our picture frame shattered. Let it all burn. Those 2 days passed in a numb haze. I kept replaying every memory, searching for red flags I must have missed. Nothing. Only now, as the initial shock wore off, did I realize she'd been playing me the whole damn time. I only went back to grab some clothes and documents, never expecting another knife in the back. The eviction notice lay on the floor like trash, just shoved under the door without even a knock. First reaction? Hysterical laughter. This had to be a mistake. My hands shook as I tore open the envelope, scanning the cold legal jargon, per Section 5.3, vacate within 7 days, failure to comply will result in forcible removal. My name wasn't anywhere. Just hers. Just Laura. The rental agency guy I'd known for 3 years suddenly turned into a robot. No comment, take it up with the landlord, not our department. His shaky voice betrayed he knew exactly what was happening. When Laura finally answered my call, Brian's laughter echoed in the background. "Get my little present?" She cooed, that same honeyed voice she'd used to sweet-talk me for years. I screamed demands. She just listed facts like reading a grocery list. Turns out she'd forged my signature on a power of attorney 6 months back. While I was working doubles to pay for her design courses, she'd been methodically stealing my home. The whole time I thought we were building a future, she was building a trap. "You always said paperwork bored you," she smirked. Truth was, I'd signed whatever she put in front of me. "Don't worry, I'll let you keep the couch till Sunday." Sitting on the floor of what used to be our apartment, I felt something break inside. Not just betrayed, erased. She didn't just sleep with my best friend. She took my home, my security, my trust in anyone. And the worst part? It was all perfectly legal. One thought looped in my head, how could I be this stupid? The puzzle pieces snapped together, her late work meetings, the constant documents to sign, even her joke, "Good thing you're not a lawyer," you'd have caught on by now. Then, click. No. She doesn't get to break me. If I'm going down, I'm pushing off the bottom. 3 nights. 3 nights I didn't sleep. Not from insomnia, I was terrified that if I closed my eyes, I'd wake up in her version of reality. Where I was nothing. No home. No rights. No future. Then on day 4, click. I was knee-deep in paperwork on the balcony. She couldn't even bother tossing my shit when my hand hit a waterlogged folder under the sink. And there it was. Holy shit. Every payment. 3 years' worth. All from my account. All my signatures. Even the one she swore she paid. But the jackpot? Her laptop. That lost MacBook from 6 months ago, buried under phone bills. Dead battery, but... Hand shaking, I plugged it in. Password required. Tried her usual combos. Nothing. Then our anniversary date. Welcome, Laura. Her email was wide open. First draft I saw, from Brian, babe, the lease paperwork's almost done. But won't the building send him a notice? Maybe we should rethink this? Her reply, relax, dummy. Mark at the agency will call it a system glitch. By the time Jake figures it out, we'll have the keys. Just don't let him see the bank statements. P.S. Delete this thread. Dated 2 months before D-Day. I sat there surrounded by trash she'd written off. And lost it. Not a chuckle, a full, gasping howl of laughter. They'd planned every move. Covered every angle. And made one mistake, they underestimated me. My phone blew up, for days left, pack your shit, touch anything in MY apartment and I'll call cops, answer me you coward. I didn't call a lawyer. I called Nick, the same friend who'd saved my ass during that dorm eviction sophomore year. Jesus Christ, he whistled as I read the emails. This is fraud with a side of premeditated fuckery. But the lease is in her name now, bro. He cut me off. You've got payment trails, cohabitation witnesses, smoking gun texts, and bless their dumb hearts, they left the receipts. Pause. Then the kill shot, she thought she was playing chess against a toddler. New text from Laura, cops tomorrow if you're not gone. For the first time in a week, my hands didn't shake as I typed back, can't wait. P.S. Tell Brian his drafts folder hits different. 3 minutes of typing. On her end. Then radio silence. I stepped outside, first time since that night, and inhaled deep. The air smelled like payback. The courtroom reeked of industrial cleaner and stale coffee. Laura sat across from me in some sharp grey pantsuit, makeup flawless, like she was at a board meeting, not her own legal execution. That smug little smile never left her face. Like she'd already won. Brian? Nowhere to be seen. The judge flipped through files without looking up. MS. Laura, you claim Mr. Jake voluntarily relinquished his tenant rights? Obviously. Her voice dripped like poisoned honey. We had a verbal agreement. I stayed silent. Do you have evidence of this agreement? The judge finally glanced at her. The lease is in my name now. A nod toward me. Mr. Jake? I just looked at my lawyer. Then the massacre began. Nick laid out the evidence like a fucking prosecutor, 3 years of rent payments, every damn one from my account, texts between Laura and Brian plotting to get rid of me, neighbor affidavits confirming we'd lived together, the voicemail of her bragging about playing me with the paperwork. Laura's smirk died slow. First came the nervous tapping. Then the blood drained from her face. This is fabricated. Her voice cracked like thin ice. The judge raised an eyebrow. Are you prepared to submit these communications for forensic analysis? Silence. MS. Laura? She just pressed her lips together, probably to keep from screaming. 10 minutes later, lease annulled. Possession reverts to Mr. Jake. Defendant has 72 hours to vacate. Laura shot up like her chair was electrified. This is bullshit. The judge didn't even blink. Case number 4571. I walked out without a backward glance. 3 days later, the apartment was nearly empty when I returned, just shredded dresses and crumpled takeout receipts. Laura stood by the window chain-smoking, her perfect facade finally cracked. Jake! Her voice actually trembled. Can't we? I cut her off with a look around my apartment. No. But, you forgot something. I pointed at the door. She grabbed her last suitcase and left without another word. Through the window, I watched Brian wait in his shitty Honda, didn't even get out to help. Laura screamed at him, arms flailing. He just shrugged and started the engine. I yanked the curtains closed.